Fire. Air. Water. Earth. Avatar Korra was a legendary avatar, accomplishing many great things for the world. After defeating Kuvira, the so-called Great Uniter, Korra unlocked a worldwide state of peace and entered the spirit world to further broaden the connection between human and spirit. None but a few are privy to the details of Korra's journey in the spirit world, but it's safe to say that her time spent there made her much wiser and knowledgeable about the spirit's mystery. Meanwhile, in the human world, the pot of corruption began to stir. King Wu's attempts to abolish the monarchy led to disaster, as separatist states began to form, leading rise to the most greedy and wealthy of the Earth Kingdom's elite. Wu realized his mistake early on, but it was too late to do anything but watch his kingdom fall apart in front of him. Several members of the Earth Kingdom government were already conspiring against Wu, hoping to bring him down. Yin Lian, the former head of economics under Queen Hao Ting, was the loudest of this group of conspirators and rapidly rose to power in the local elections, filling their heads with prosperity and safety. Yin was a traditional and powerful earthbender, and often spoke about his dream to take back the resource-rich land that had been claimed by the United Republic years before. Shortly after Korra entered the spirit world, Yin began to plot his takedown of the United Republic. It began with the Avatar cycle. Yin knew that after Korra died, he could search for an Earth Kingdom avatar. He began to recruit like-minded officials, doing away with dissent in a way that can only be described as unsavory. Yin Lian slowly became one of the most influential people in the Earth Kingdom, and started to put his sinister plan in motion, a plan that would forever change the world. Although the exact details of Korra's adventure in the spirit world aren't known, she issued a statement after returning about Ko, the face stealer. Korra, who wasn't always known for her calm demeanor, managed to not show any emotion when speaking to the spirit, and learned that Ko could see what was happening in the human world, and that the Earth Kingdom was draining the spirit's power the same way Kuvira once did. Ko, a more deadly and malevolent spirit, who was probably acting more out of self-preservation than anything, feared that the Earth Kingdom, under Yin's influence, may become far too confident, enter the spirit world, and harness their powers. Korra agreed, realizing that the human world could not coexist with the spirit world, as the spirit's power was too great. The Avatar, in her statement upon returning from the spirit world, announced that she would be closing the portals, which angered Yin Lian, whose plan had already been set in motion. By this time, Yin had essentially made himself the king, living in the royal palace and sleeping where the queen had slept. Yin was a new type of foe for Korra, one beloved by his people for boosting the economy and making the streets safer than ever. Unfortunately, the people seemed blissfully unaware of the great costs of these benefits, as Yin had ripped the trees surrounding Ba Sing Se from the ground, bulldozing the old Fire Nation colonies, and then using propaganda to blame the United Republic and the Fire Nation, which the citizens of Ba Sing Se believed without question. Eventually, Yin invited Avatar Korra to a dinner at the palace. Korra was apprehensive at first, but eventually decided to attend, hoping to confront him about his questionable decisions while he was in power. Yin, however, had something more nefarious in mind, planning to surround Korra with metal benders and ambush her. Yin sat calmly, letting Korra air her grievances with his actions as a ruler. When she was done, he said, "Avatar Korra, we are of course thankful for your wonderful work." But Korra never heard the last words, as shards of metal entered her throat, killing her. Yin went on to lie to the world, telling them how Korra went back to the spirit world, after deciding that the Earth Kingdom needed some spiritual guidance. Though nobody but his biggest fanatics believed him, they were too scared to challenge him, and when the Earth Kingdom claimed to have found Korra killed by a spirit, they were again met with skepticism, as well as anger from Korra's home nation, the Water Tribe. Yin's work wasn't done yet, and he set about searching for the next avatar, an earthbender, and after 4 years of kicking down doors, their search came to an end when they found the next avatar, a boy born in the middle ring of Ba Sing Se. The boy's name was Shao. named after his father and born in a difficult area. The economy in the Middle Ring was still struggling, yet there was enough wealth to keep the crime rate up, especially once Yin had tightened security in the Upper Ring. Gong Xiao's father had recently lost his job to automation in the farming industry, and wasn't forthcoming with the royal guards who showed up at his door looking for his son. Yin got lucky, as Gong Xiao had already displayed bending beyond earth, previously blasting fire during a tantrum and freezing his bathwater into an ice cube. Gong Xiao's father had hoped to protect his son, knowing the White Lotus would be able to handle it, but unfortunately, Yin had already sent the White Lotus on a wild goose chase to the southern Earth Kingdom, spreading rumors about the Avatar being born there. Gong Xiao's father refused the test, but his desire to protect his son only resulted in losing him, and the guards took the now orphaned Gong Xiao to Yin Lian. Gong Xiao's childhood was reset at age 4, and lived what he thought was a normal childhood under Yin. The only people who knew the truth about Gong Xiao's abduction were the guards who had taken him themselves, and they were some of Yin's most loyal followers. As Gong Xiao grew up, Yin began to build the Earth Kingdom's wealth further, turning small villages into mining towns, buying off or killing his political rivals, and hiring servants to train the Avatar. At age 8, Gong Xiao found out his true identity, and Yin and his collaborators began to fill his head with stories of how evil the other nations were, that the air nomads were weak and cowardly, that the Fire Nation was oppressive and totalitarian, that the Water Tribe was uncivilized and savage, and most harshly, that the United Republic had invaded and stolen Earth Kingdom land. Gong Xiao was now filled with hatred for any nation but his own, and was fiercely loyal to Yin and the Earth Kingdom. He excelled in his physical training, like his predecessor Korra, but not only was his spirituality discouraged by his mentors, he was outright barred from connecting with it, and was told that the spirits would manipulate him into being sympathetic towards the other nations. The Avatar's masters were either close followers of Yin, or were extorted or even physically forced to train him, and were always watched closely by Yin's royal guards. Gon was especially interested in metal bending, and often used the other elements to enhance his earth bending, often favoring a metal suit when fighting. Gon had shut out his spirituality, preferring to talk to Yin whenever a spirit attempted to connect with him, making him incapable of entering the Avatar state. This was Yin's biggest disappointment in Gong Xiao, who had attempted to do so many times in order to impress the man he saw as his father. Unfortunately, Gong Xiao's training was so wrapped up in Earth Kingdom nationalism that he believed his duty was only to save the most suffering nation, and was told he was there to defend and bring prosperity to the Earth Kingdom. Due to strongly anti-spirituality training Gon received growing up, he was never able to airbend, and wasn't able to become a full-fledged Avatar because of it. When the Avatar turned 20, Yin decided it was time to bring his obsession to fruition, and take down the United Republic of Nations. Despite Yin's suppression of information on Ba Sing Se, rumors of a war began to spread around the world, scaring the United Republic, who asked the other nations for help. The Water Tribe didn't want to go to war with the Earth Kingdom, as their economy depended on their trade relationship. The Air Nomads were conflicted, as the Nomads wanted to help keep the peace, but the Elders decided against it, wanting to stay true to their pacifistic nature. This left the Fire Nation, who came to the aid of the United Republic when Yin drafted most of his population and marched them towards Yudao, one of the United Republic's largest cities. The Avatar led the front lines in his metal suit, blasting through the city and leaving ash and ruin in its place, forever remembered as the day the Avatar betrayed the world. No one in Yudao was spared, and all of its able-bodied citizens, now prisoners, were sent to work in the Earth Kingdom mines, if they surrendered, that is. Republic City braced itself, as the whole world knew that they would be next to face Gong Xiao's wrath, but fortunately, this time, they had more help. Upon seeing the horrors left in Yin's wake, the other nations sprang into action to help, knowing the Earth Kingdom wouldn't stop after conquering the United Republic. The Fire Nation sent whatever troops they had left after losing quite a few in the invasion of Yudao, and the Southern Water Chief sent a fleet of his own ships to Yue Bay, urging the Northern chief to do the same. The White Lotus, of course, had not stood idly by, and although they were small in numbers, they were able to assemble a sizable militia, comprised of rebel Earth Kingdom citizens, and some say, even air nomads, though it's not known whether this was approved by the Council of Elders. This time, the United Republic was prepared, and Republic City had defenses set up everywhere, ready for Yin's army. The Earth Kingdom began by bombing the Fire Nation ships, and although the bombers were shot down eventually, there was enough damage done already. The next strike was a storm of massive rocks, launched by teams of Earthbenders, and destroying most of the United Republic's airplanes. The last strike was the Avatar, Shao himself with an army in tow, sporting his metal suit and chunking hunks of metal into the city, destroying landmarks and decimating the once beautiful architecture. Gon streamed through the city, creating makeshift blades out of the metal debris and cutting through the building supports, toppling entire structures. He then jumped into battle with a group of fighters, taking down 10 people at once, an unstoppable machine. As the rest of his army followed suit, the city's defenses were overwhelmed, and they were forced to retreat, leaving Republic City in ruins. The Earth Kingdom emerged victorious, save for their one loss: the Avatar.